Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the United Community Channel. And we are back again with another transfer talk show, and we've plenty to talk about tonight. We really do. Um, Obviously, there's been some updates in relation to potential signings for Manchester United. So we're going to get into some of them. We're going to talk about obviously the main one that's been breaking in the last 24 hours or so is Lisandro Martinez, and the fact that there's talks are going very positive with Ajax, and it looks like the deal is getting very close. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Frenkie De Jong and why it's taken maybe so long for the deal to get over the line, and you know potentially what's going to be done about that, and will he sign, won't he sign, things like that. We're going to get into that as well. We're also going to talk a lot about maybe a potential replacement. Is Ronaldo going to stay, is he going to go? We're going to get into that as well. All of the usual good stuff. Of course, feel free to put any thoughts or comments in the chat, and we get into them as well. You're more than welcome to do so. But yeah, plenty to talk about, I suppose. And obviously, we know the main one to discuss in the last 24 hours or so has been Lisandro Martinez. And I suppose it broke maybe yesterday, this morning as well, that Ajax are basically ready to accept defeat in their efforts to keep Martinez. And United are hoping to get a deal over the line for about £46 million. Now, again, do I think we're overpaying for him? Maybe. But Ten Hag is adamant that he wants him. So, and obviously United being so slow in the transfer window in relation to Ajax, I think we don't really have a choice. So I think we're going to end up paying over the top for him, but that doesn't mean I don't think he's a good player. I certainly do think he's a very good player, and I'm looking forward to him coming. Now, again, look, we're not going to go 100% on this because there isn't anything 100% at the moment. But I certainly do think that we'll get him in the end. Absolutely. I would be 95% sure we're going to get him now. There has been reports coming out from basically your tier one journalists. James Ducker in the Telegraph has come out. Rob Dawson from ESPN has also been speaking about him and saying that he's basically done and dusted. It looks like Arsenal have dropped out of the race for him as well. I think the Ten Hag connection is strong there, and I think that's basically what's after sealing the deal for Manchester United. So look, I'm very happy with it. Again, we can go back to maybe some of the shortcomings that people are talking about in relation to De Jong, in relation to Martinez, and the fact that he's not tall and things like that, and he's 6 foot, he's 5'8", 5'9", but there's plenty of centre backs down through the years that have been under 6 foot that have been phenomenal. You think of Puyol, Cannavaro, Bobby Moore, even for England back in the 60s. He was, under 6 foot. So look, I'm not worried. And again, like we've said before, the modern game now is predominantly played on the floor. So, maybe tall centre backs are not as important as they once were. Now I know obviously the Premier League is certainly different and it's a lot more physical. But, looking at this player's stats, I think his aerial duels won are up in the 70% range. Now, look, I do understand that he's playing in the Eredivisie at the moment, but you would be hoping that he would make the step up to the Premier League and he could continue them upward trends. So, look, I'm all for it, and I'm delighted he's basically coming. Look, I think it's basically a done deal. I would think. Um, like according to reports today, there has been an agreement as well on personal terms, and that Manchester United are basically going to pay around 55 million euros for Martinez, and that's not including add-ons. So I do think they're overpaying. I do, but I think we could have got him for a hell of a lot cheaper if we had been quicker to act in the transfer window. But again, the De Jong deal has held an awful lot of things up. So I think that's the why. That's the reason why. On the back end of that, then as well, uh, James Ducker again in the Telegraph today has come out and said that Manchester United currently have 6 defenders on their books, and at least two of those are likely to need to make way to facilitate Martinez. Now, that doesn't mean that two defenders are going to have to be sold before we can buy him. It basically just means that we're going to be getting rid of two defenders. Now, who do we get rid of? I think, obviously we have, if we bring in Martinez, so it's going to be Martinez, it's going to be Varane, it's going to be Lindelof, it's going to be Maguire. They're your four main centre backs. We also then have Phil Jones, Twanzebe, and Eric Bailly. If we're going to be getting rid of two, I would be going with Twanzebe and Phil Jones to be getting rid of. I think Eric Bailly could remain. I don't think he will, because he wants to play first team football. He's not going to get it at Manchester United. And even though he had such a brilliant game against Liverpool yesterday, I thought he was fantastic in the second half. I still think he wants regular first team football, and that's why he's potentially going to leave. So, but look, we'll wait and see. I don't think selling defenders is a necessity before we have to get the likes of Martinez in. But I do think that, once he does come, defenders are going to see the writing on the wall as well. They're going to say, all right, well, they're bringing in another centre back. I'm not going to get game time here. And they should want to leave. Any proper pro who knows he's not going to get game time should want to leave. They shouldn't be staying just to pick up a wage. All of these players are multi-millionaires already. And, if you have to knock 30 or 40 grand off your wages to move club and get first team football, then I think they should be doing it. But again, that's just my opinion. Let's see who's in. Great to see so many people in here. Let's see what people are saying. What's new about Cristiano, says Lax. We're going to get into that. Yeah, I'm going to talk about Cristiano. Harry says, any updates on Martinez? We just gave them there. Do you think Frenkie will come, says Gary. I'm going to get into Frenkie now in a moment. Aina says, hey buddy, opinions on the game yesterday? Yeah, I'm going to talk about the game as well. Do you think we'll get De Jong? Says William. Again, we're going to get into that. What's holding up Eriksen? So I think Eriksen is going to be done in the next couple of days. I really do. I don't know what the hold up is. I really can't tell you. I just think, is it a PR reason? Are United holding him back for some reason? I just don't know. Is something in his medical holding him up? Because it looks like personal terms are agreed and all of that good stuff. So look, we'll see. Ems is in, says Jack, how are you? Good to see ya. Good to see ya. So yeah. Evening pal, says Andy. Andy is in. I see you there, bud. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us again. Yeah, so I suppose let's talk about De Jong. And I see Kotl is there as well, and Mohammed is in. And Nilmar says, from Zimbabwe, any breaking news from Manchester United? Great to see you. Thanks for joining us. And Jay is in and says, change the title. I'm not sure what that means. If I have the wrong title up, I apologise. I can't change it now. But and Mohammed from Sierra Leone. Brilliant. So let's get into De Jong. Obviously, again, we're talking about De Jong. We're waiting for De Jong. We're waiting for updates. And it just seems like it's dragging on forever and ever and ever. But look, to be honest with you, I do know there's a lot of the fan base that are getting itchy feet, and they're getting worried about it, and is it going to happen, and why is it taking so long, and this and that and the other. So basically the update, as a lot of people know, John Murta and Richard Arnold were in Barcelona over the weekend, and it was basically to finalise the deal with Barcelona for Frenkie De Jong. Now, them talks supposedly have gone very well, and there actually is an agreement in place between Barcelona and Manchester United to sign the player. And a lot of the reports that have been coming out subsequently since have been saying that it's down to Manchester United to convince De Jong to sign for the club, which I don't really believe. I really don't believe. And people are saying, and I understand it, and there's a lot of people saying it to me in a lot of my videos and stuff that United should walk away. He's taking too long. You need to convince him and things like that. I don't think we do need to convince De Jong. I think De Jong is quite happy to join Manchester United. I think he wants out of Barcelona. Not publicly he wants out of Barcelona. The reason he's saying he wants to stay is because he's owed 17 million in wages, and I think he's having a standoff with the club over it, and he's basically saying, I'm not leaving until you pay me. And once you pay me, then okay, I'll go. And I think that's exactly what's holding up the deal. And a lot of people are saying United should pull the plug and walk away. And you know, you know, is the deal still on? And should United still be there and things like that? This deal is on. Okay, this Frankie De Jong deal is on. Manchester United would not be still involved in negotiations with Barcelona if one, the deal wasn't on, and two, the player didn't want to sign for us. If Frankie De Jong didn't want to sign for us after this length of time and this amount of, you know, negotiations and talking with Barcelona and things like that, if United knew he didn't want to sign up to this date, they would have walked away a long time ago. So I'm very calm about the whole situation. I do think we're eventually going to get him. Look, I'm not going to say 100% because there's always things that can change. I certainly do think I would be 95% sure that we're going to get De Jong. It is going to take time, though. I really do think it's going to take time. It's going to. This may drag on until the end of the transfer window. But again, it goes back to what we were saying uh, during the weekend and last weekend. I've said it a lot of times in my videos that we're looking at long-term progression under Ten Hag. And when we're talking about long-term progression, we're talking 2, 3, 4, 5 years plus. Okay? Now, signing Frenkie De Jong today or signing him in a month's time when the transfer window closes, it doesn't make a huge difference. It really doesn't. Or however long the transfer window is open for. If we sign him today or we sign him on deadline day, the long-term goal that Ten Hag has for this club is more than likely going to revolve around Frenkie De Jong over the next 3 or 4 or 5 years. So I don't think we need to get too worried about it. We can see as well also, there's a lot of people saying as well that, we're putting too much time into Frenkie De Jong. We should be getting other deals done. But you can see we are getting other deals done. We've signed a left back. It's basically done and dusted for Martinez. So happy days with that. Ericsson, you're thinking maybe should be done by the end of the week. We're in talks. Well, not in talks, but we've been linked with a number of maybe attacking players, the likes of Anthony. There's been a couple of strikers we've been mentioned with as well. We're constantly being linked with another central defensive midfielder, the likes of Neves and Tielemans. So look, there is work being going on in the background, and I think there was reports suggesting, and there's some people I've been seeing some people saying that United are going to walk away if he doesn't make up his mind by Friday. I don't think that's the case. I think United gave Barcelona, the club, a deadline of Friday to either agree to the fee that they were going to offer. I think that fee, according to Tier 1 journalists, has now been agreed. So I don't think that Friday deadline exists anymore in relation to convincing Frenkie De Jong. This convincing word is something that I don't really like because I think he's happy to come to Manchester United. I just think the reason it's been held up is this standoff he's having with Barcelona over his wages. So look, I'm not going to be too worried about it, and I don't think anyone else should be. Look, if he doesn't come, it's not the end of the world. We'll just move on. We can see, even with one game yesterday, and I know it was a pre-season friendly, but we can see already the type of maybe football we're trying to play under Ten Hag, and the players do seem to be buying into it. And as well with the young, the youth players that played yesterday, it absolutely, they look like they're absolutely buying into his philosophy and his style of play, which is great to see. So look, I think De Jong will get done, but if it doesn't, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. Okay. But yeah, let's see what everyone thinks here. Watching from Zimbabwe or from Zambia, says Ed. Good to see you, Ed. Thanks for joining us. Vecna says, bro, no one cares if you're saying hello from your country. I care. I like people let me know where they're from. So, yeah, let's keep it positive. Look, what was yesterday? A final that United won, says Iron. It was just a game, but it's always great to beat Liverpool, especially 4-0, regardless of a friendly or not. Um, Daniel says, bro, whatever you say, he's not going to read it. He reads YouTube chats. Just proved you wrong there, Daniel. I will say to people though, if you definitely want a comment read out, the YouTube, the YouTube live is always easier to get a comment read out because it's never as busy as TikTok. So if you want to pop over United Community Channel, link is on my homepage. Make sure you do. Yeah, let's see. Niall says, any update on Frenkie De Jong? Yeah, so we're after speaking about that, Niall. We're still waiting. Let's see. Thoughts on Fred the Goat's chip yesterday? Oh, it was absolutely salubrious. So it was. I enjoyed it thoroughly. But yeah, I suppose let's get into yesterday's performance because we haven't really. I haven't been live since the game ended yesterday. Let me just go through some of the YouTube comments here. First, Cottle says 17 million is holding up the deal. Yeah, why wasn't Garner involved yesterday? I think he was carrying a bit of a knock, Cottle, like Maguire. So I think that's why he was left out. Thoughts on Fred's Goat's chip yesterday? That's Ryan. I presume it's the same comment, Ryan. Brilliant. Chelsea are signing Koulibaly for 40 million. Yeah, I've seen that. Look, it's going to be a good signing for them, but they desperately do need a centre back. What age is he now? Is he we've been linked to him for about 4 or 5 years, I think. Dono says Galway or Kerry. I presume that's into football. I don't really have any interest in it, to be honest, Dono, because I'm from Kilkenny, so we're all about the hurling here, and hopefully we can get one over on Limerick on Sunday. Cottle says he's 31. Yeah, so like Koulibaly's been linked with United for about 6 or 7 years now. So look, I think has he missed the boat? Really, look, he's still a good defender, but I certainly do. I certainly do think he should have moved maybe 3 or 4 years ago. But yeah, so let's talk about yesterday. I mean, brilliant result. Great to beat Liverpool. And obviously, I'm sure there are some. I'm sure there are some Liverpool fans in the chat, and I don't buy into this nonsense that it was only a pre-season game, and we, it didn't really matter because Liverpool would have been, swinging from the rafters if they had beat us 4-0. So I certainly enjoyed it. I certainly thought United played very well. I understand the argument that Andy says never a friendly against the Scousers. I agree, absolutely. And again, if the Scouser, any Scouser that says, "Oh, it wasn't a competitive match," we didn't really care. Well, then you're not a real Liverpool fan, to be honest. If you don't care, when you're playing Manchester United. So, but I thought United were very good. I thought I do buy into the argument that obviously United had basically their strongest team starting, and Liverpool didn't. Okay, but Liverpool had some very good players on the pitch. They had Alisson, they had Gomez, they had Henderson, they had Firmino, they had Diaz. So they weren't without a large number of senior players. I thought United's intensity levels were fantastic. I thought they pressed the ball very well high up the field. I mean, looking at Anthony Martial's goal, Anthony Martial pressing and closing down high up the pitch, winning the ball back, going in and scoring is just unbelievable to see, and I'm so happy to see it. I thought we took our chances very well. Obviously, Liverpool did make a couple of mistakes for it, so you do have to take that into consideration. I thought Sancho was unbelievable. I thought he was brilliant. I thought Martial was brilliant. I thought Rashford was okay, wasn't anything special. Fred's goal was brilliant. Again, the quality in midfield was lacking. I still do think that. Even though Fred did get a great goal, I can understand. I did see them both, him and McTominay. Both of them weren't dropping back for the ball at the same time to get it off the defence. They complemented each other quite well, but the quality between the two of them is still not good. McTominay, I like McTominay. I like his heart. I like his desire and his hunger and his passion. But I just don't think he's good enough. I really just don't think he's good enough. So the central midfield still worries me. I still hope we can get De Jong. The likes of Ericsson, it looks like Ericsson is going to get done this week. Um, everything seems to be done in terms of medicals. I don't know what the hold up is. Is it PR? Is it? I don't know. I just don't know. But I do think it's going to get done this week. In relation to the defence, let me just plug in my phone here. In relation to the defence, I thought. No, I thought Delo was okay. I still don't think he's good enough. I thought Varane had a Varane performance. He was just classy as normal. Lindelof was okay. I thought he did get maybe flustered a couple of times on the ball. I thought Luke Shaw was poor. I thought. Um, yeah, I thought he looked a bit slow. He got burnt a couple of times down the right hand side. So yeah, I thought he was poor. And Malacia, when he came on, didn't overly impress me. Now he did have the tougher of the two jobs. Obviously, he was marking Salah, and he did keep him quiet enough. But going forward, I thought he was sloppy. But look, obviously, it's only his first game. He's been bedded in, so I wouldn't be worrying about that. Big shout outs to the likes of Zidane Iqbal. I thought he was absolutely phenomenal yesterday. Him and Charlie Savage in the centre of midfield yesterday in the second half, I thought they just did not look out of place. They came up against Fabinho, Thiago, and who's the other one? Someone will tell me who the other one is. But Liverpool's three main players, centre midfielders, and they didn't look out of place. They held their own. Okay, they gave the ball away a couple of times. A bit of naivety in terms of being youngsters and all of that. But I thought they absolutely held their own. So it's good to see. Look, I don't think they're going to be getting. I don't think they're going to be getting massive amount of game time this year, and we could even see what Ten Hag said about Hannibal Iqbal today. He basically came out and said, I was very surprised about the quality that he has. Basically said I didn't know how good he was, and he was delighted to see it. So look, I mean, that does merit a lot more game time in pre-season for him, given the performance he put in against Liverpool. So I was really happy. So look, overall, I think it was really good. Side note as well, I thought De Gea played well. He did look like he was coming out to receive the ball a lot more. Happy to take the ball in terms of passing, and being that out ball for his defence. And it did allow the defence to play higher up the field, which I thought was good. Now again, look, it's a pre-season game. When it gets to the important games, is De Gea still going to have the confidence to step out and do that? That remains to be seen. But look, signs are good, and you can see the kind of way we're playing. We're looking to play high intensity. We keep the ball and move it very fast. So yeah, I was happy. And look, it's good to. It was a good performance to build on. So happy days. Let's see what people are saying here. Abdul says, when will the transfer window close? I think it's middle of August. I'm not sure of an exact date. Why United are very slow to sign players? Well, look, we're getting there. We're nearly there on Martinez. Again, I think we just need to. I think we need to accept the fact that the De Jong deal is going to drag on for a while. Cottle says Liverpool had most of their best 11 in the last half an hour, and our B team scored on them. They did, and what a goal, Eric Bailly. And I forgot to mention Eric Bailly. What a game he had yesterday. To step out of the midfield like that, he gave Thiago one of Thiago's own step overs, left him for dirt, and then he was there for the tap in if Palestri had missed it. So he made an unbeliever, and he made the goal. So it was great to see. Ryan said Luke Shaw let too many crosses go through. Yeah, I agree with you there, Ryan. I think he does have a lot. Now look, again, he did have an operation over the summer to get the screws removed out of his leg, so maybe he's still working through that, but he does have to up his game. Iqbal and Savage are going to be ballers in the future, says Cottle. I agree, absolutely. I thought they were very good yesterday. Adam says, I love De Gea and think he's the least of our worries for now. But I think if Ten Hag sees that De Gea is uncomfortable with the ball at his feet, he will replace him just like Pep did with Hart. Adam, I agree with you totally there, and I did when Ten Hag got the job. I instantly thought of David De Gea, and I thought, okay, obviously there are other areas of our team that we need to improve on. A long time before we have to worry about David De Gea. But again, like exactly going back to what you said, Adam, if we do strengthen our team over the coming year or two, I think we will be looking at another goalkeeper, a ball playing goalkeeper, a sweeper keeper, because unless De Gea ups his game and gets a lot better at that side, um, I think Ten Hag will replace him, and I think Ten Hag should have the power and the option to replace him if he wants. Absolutely. So I agree with you on that one. Let's see what people are saying on TikTok here. Please smash a like on the video as well, guys. I'd really appreciate it if you haven't already done so. Anyone on YouTube, please just click that like button real quick for us. It gets us out to more people. And hit subscribe as well if you haven't already done so on YouTube. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the start of the season. So we're closing in on 700 subscribers at the moment, so please make sure you do that. Anyone on TikTok, I'd really appreciate it as well if you keep hitting the likes for us there. Let's try and get it up to 10,000 likes. We're nearly at 3,500 at the moment. And as well to anyone on TikTok or on YouTube, again, just to let you know, we're doing our kit giveaway. So the new Manchester United jersey, we're doing a giveaway this Friday. I'm going to be picking a subscriber from our YouTube channel on Friday at 7:30, and I'll be announcing it on our live. So if you want to subscribe, click on my homepage. There's a link on my homepage for my YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button and you can come back into the live here and follow us. But yeah, if you're subscribing to the YouTube channel, you're in with a shout. We're winning that. So make sure you subscribe. We'll be picking the winner I'll be picking it on Friday afternoon myself, and I'll be announcing it then on Friday night. So a couple of days left. Make sure you're subscribing. Let's see what people are saying here. Let's see. Gorox says, we need a new winger like Antonio to support Sancho because I didn't see Rashford as a winger anymore. Okay. Well, look, I certainly do think we do need another attacking option, whether it's a striker or a winger. I certainly do think we need that. Will we get it? It remains to be seen. It seems to be the lesser of two or three evils at the moment with Manchester United. Obviously, I think the main priorities are central midfield and central defence that we're looking at strengthening first, and then if we can maybe get some additional signings in further up the field, then I think that's the way we're really going to do it. Let's see. Let's scroll back here and see what people are saying. Mario said Charlie Savage had a good game. He did, yeah. Ads says 1st of September the transfer window closes. Okay. Jules says, where is Cavani? Cavani's gone, so his contract ended on the 1st of July, so he's moved on. I think he's maybe going back to South America somewhere to play. So yeah. Shouldn't United sell some players? Says Buddha. So yeah, look, I do think we should. I don't think we will until we can actually get some signings in just to cover ourselves. Obviously, with central defence, the Lisandro Martinez deal looks to be very, very close. So I think maybe once he comes in, I think we will see some departures. But in terms of midfield, I don't really... I can't see us selling too many more people. We are very short in midfield because we had 3 central midfielders leave already in Pogba, Mata and Matic, so I don't think we'll be losing any more central midfielders. I think potentially we could sell a left back because we now have 3 of them. And again, obviously, reports have suggested that United are open to offers for Wan-Bissaka, but I don't think, again, we would potentially sell him until we can get maybe a backup or a replacement in. So I don't see us doing too much. I think certainly we have too many central defenders, especially if we buy another one. So I can potentially see some central defenders leaving, but outside of that, I can't see too many more leaving. We've already had 4. Have we had 4? Yeah. So we've had Cavani, Matic, Mata, Pogba. I think that's been it so far. Um, and Ronaldo maybe if he does decide to leave. Um, Ad says definitely need a centre back, centre midfielder. Won't win anything with Fred and McTominay in midfield. Yep, I agree. Zizob says we do need a defensive midfielder and a left-footed central defender. Yep, I agree. And it does look like we're getting a left-footed central defender, obviously because Lisandro Martinez is left-footed. So happy days there. But I do agree with you in relation to a defensive midfielder. I think it's look. I don't know how Ten Hag is going to play. He's a lot more knowledgeable in relation to systems and tactics than I am and that I ever will be. But if we're getting the likes of Frenkie De Jong in there, he's not a central defensive midfielder. If we're getting Eriksen in, he's not a defensive midfielder. You know, are we going to be going with either one of Fred or McTominay for another season? That remains to be seen. But I think getting a CDM in would complement the likes of Eriksen and De Jong and even Bruno Fernandes further up the field and allow them to progress further up the field. And we seen it yesterday in against Liverpool. And again, I know it's only a preseason game, but United, and I did like an awful lot the how we pressed very high up the field, and we did press as a unit. The whole team tended to press together, and it was very impressive. But you can see instantly, there was a couple of times in the first half where Liverpool broke the first line of broke our press and got through our press, and we were caught very square. And I think getting an out and out central defensive midfielder in there, I think, is very important. If we do have a full press like that, and the team we're playing against does break that press, if you have a lad sitting in the pocket in the six whose only mindset is just to defend, then I think it will maybe take the pressure off of not just the players in front of him but the whole team in relation to, like, okay, we know he's there, so we can now go and press. So I think that, again, that's just what my opinion would be. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let's see. Will you be doing a watch along for the game versus Melbourne, says Cottle? I will. So anybody tuning in, we're doing a live watch along on Friday. Kickoff is 11:05 UK time. So we're going to be doing a live watch along on YouTube. So make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel. Anyone on TikTok, you can click on my homepage up above there, and there's a link there just to subscribe to it. So we're going to be going live. I might go live maybe about 11:15 on Friday morning. So make sure you're tuned in for that. I can't wait for it. We're going to be back in the studio here. For anyone that was watching yesterday against Liverpool, I was doing it from my front room, so we didn't have the kind of green screen background. So yeah, make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel, guys, so you don't miss out on our live watch-alongs. And again, like I said, we're going to be doing them throughout the whole season for basically every game. So make sure you're subscribing there. Adam says, from what you know now with transfers, now what would you expect to be our expected 11 for the first game of the season? Okay, well, what I would like, now this is whether, or what I would be happy with, let's put it this way. Obviously, De Gea in goal, Delors right back, then obviously either Shaw or Malacia. Again, look, we'll see how pre-season goes. Either one of the three at left back. Maybe I'll give Luke Shaw the benefit of the doubt at the moment. I would go with Varane and Martinez as our two centre backs. Three in midfield. Then I would play Fred, Fred, De Jong, and Bruno Fernandes. And then my three across the top would be Ronaldo through the middle, hopefully, if he stays. Rashford on the left and Sanchez on the right. That would be my starting 11. I would be happy with that. Let's put it that way. Again, there are areas there we could improve. Obviously, we could improve on our central midfield in terms of a CDM. But again, look, we could potentially play, Martinez as a CDM and then bring in someone like, Harry Maguire or Lindelof in alongside Varane again. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's options there. I would like to potentially see an improvement at right back as well. But sorry, I have a bit of chicken left over from dinner in me teeth. Um, but yeah, look, options there. Oliver here says, I see Martinez as more of a CDM with Frenkie De Jong. And that very well might be the case, Oliver. You could be absolutely spot on there. But again, it gives us options, and I do like that. And you look back at Manchester United down through the years. A lot of the Sir Alex Ferguson teams had players like that could play in multiple positions. John O'Shea was good night, see you in the morning, good night. Daughter's going to bed, sorry. But yeah, you could see down through the years with a lot of Sir Alex Ferguson's team in the early days. In the mid to late 90s, Phil Neville could play right back, left back. He could play centre midfield. He could nearly play winger sometimes. John O'Shea, centre back, right back, left back, centre midfield. He even played in goal. So having players that can play in more than one position, I think can only be beneficial to a club and to a team. So, look. If Martinez comes in and he plays centre back, I'm happy. If he plays CDM, I'm happy. Whatever the manager thinks, I'm on board. I am 100% on board with this manager. So yeah. Kieran says, would you promote the lads from the FA Youth Cup winning team? I mean, it all depends on the game time we can offer them. So if we can bring up the likes of Garnacho, for example, to the first team squad, it's not really beneficial to bring him and to sit him on the bench for 20 games in a row. So it all comes down to, some of these players, as good as they are, sometimes the best way for them to improve is actually to go out on loan and to get first team football. Now, I think the likes of Garnacho could potentially be a very good backup to the likes of Sancho and the likes of Rashford. If we don't end up signing another winger, you're looking at our four wingers basically of Rashford, Sancho, Elanga and Garnacho. You would think, but I think I mean, I'm all for it. I'm all for bringing youth in, but you don't want to bring players in too fast either, but yeah, absolutely. Cottle says, I reckon Ericsson will start. He very well might. Yeah. Now, you could play two in the pivot with Ericsson and De Jong as well. So, look, I think, again, it goes back to this word options. And I think that's what Ten Hag wants. He wants options. He wants different types of players in different types of areas of the pitch. And, I think Ericsson will, me personally, I think he'll be going directly. He'll be in direct competition with the likes of Bruno Fernandes. But again, it all depends on what way we're playing. If we're playing a fluid three in the middle that rotate, without an out-and-out holding midfielder, then okay. It all comes down to what the way the manager plays. And I think that'll become more evident as the games and weeks go on, Favor says, I've been seeing Eric Ten Hag talking with Martial a lot. Do you think he has a plan for Martial? I did see that today. So I seen a clip on United Stand, the United Stand vlog where they were just recording in the team hotel lobby, and people were waiting to get autographs from the players as they were coming by. And Martial was coming out with Ten Hag had his arm around him, and he was talking to him and basically giving him instructions about tactics and what he should be doing and stuff, which is brilliant to see, and I love it. I really do love that, because you can tell Ten Hag, he does not stop ever. It's all about the team. It's all about improvement. It's all about tactics, getting the players on board. So it's great to see, and I think the players do like that. So yeah, I was very happy with that, and I think he does maybe have a plan for him. I certainly do think he's going to give him a chance, and we can see Martial yesterday. He looked lean, he looked sharp, he looked hungry. He was closing down, which he hasn't done in a long time. LFC 97 says 1 trophy after 6 years. Well, put your Bangkok challenge medal on the table. United are back. but but yeah, I mean, you only have one league trophy in 36 years, or in 32 years. So we have one Bangkok Cup trophy in 6 years. You have one Premier League trophy in 32 years. Anyway, it's all good banter. Let's see what people are saying here. Adam says, Martinez gives me Mascherano vibes, where he will be as good in midfield as he is in the backline. Yep, very, very much so, Adam. Absolutely. And like we seen with Mascherano, he was a central midfielder and he went to Barcelona and Guardiola started playing him as a centre back. And, you know, he fit lovely. So, look, I'm all for it. And Ten Hag has I'm sure he does have a clear idea and a clear plan of where he wants to play him. So, look, I'm all for it. Cottle says John O'Shea is clear of Neuer. Absolutely. The green United kit on him in the goal. And then you had Ronaldo and Rooney on the bench laughing at him. He says, I have a good feeling about Martial for next season. Well, hopefully, Cottle, hopefully. Bangkok Century Cup is greater than the Champions League. Oh, God. It'll be a while before we're winning that Champions League, I think. Don't forget, Man United waiting more than 30 years to win the league. What? Man United waiting more than 30 years to win the league. No, we're not. We won it 10 years ago. 9 years ago. I don't think we will be 30 years without it. I don't. You know, we'd have to go another 21 years to match Liverpool's barren spell. You know, I mean, you have the same amount of Premier League trophies as Blackburn and Leicester. So I wouldn't be talking too highly about it. Anyway, it's all a good bit of banter. Let's see what people are saying here on TikTok. Great to see so many people in, guys. Keep smashing that like button for me. It just gets us out to more people. Gets more people in the chat as well. So keep smashing that like button. We're nearly at 9,000 likes there. So we're getting on very well. Let's try and hit maybe 15,000 before we finish up. Roland says, from what I've seen, they are in advanced talks for Martinez. Can you confirm? Yeah, it's looking very, very good. I think the fee has been agreed and personal terms look like they're been agreed as well. So I'd say they're just basically dotting the I's and crossing the T's at the moment, which is good news. Tiago says, I think we should play Garner as a central midfielder instead of McTominay. Well, look, that certainly is an option. I'd be interested to see how he plays. Obviously, we haven't seen him yet. He had a bit of a knock for yesterday's game, so he wasn't involved. Johnny says, what do you think of Jong Saga yesterday? I thought he was fantastic. That little Zidane turn he done, the step over and spin, I think was fantastic. I thought him and Zidane Iqbal, I thought, were brilliant in the middle of the field yesterday. I thought they were very good. What do you think of Maguire as captain? Look, to be honest, I'm not overly concerned about this captain issue because, look, there's enough. I mean, you could see. I don't know if any of you seen the video of Bruno Fernandes talking to Elanga on the pitch yesterday after the game, and he was kind of hunched down talking to him and giving him a bit of advice, and I think that's fantastic. So, you know, I think once you have characters like that in your dressing room and players like that in your dressing room, whoever wears the armband, I don't know if it's massively important, really. I don't think Maguire should be captain. I don't. But the fact that I'm not going to lose any sleep over the fact that he's got it. You know, I think if Martinez, for example, comes in and he's playing as and Ten Hag is buying him, for example, as a centre back, I think Maguire is out. I do. I think it'll be Varane and Martinez. So, but look, we'll see what happens. Adam says, if we sign Anthony, what do you think that means for Rashford? Can't see Sancho being dropped. Well, what it will do, Adam, more than anything, is that it will require Rashford to up his game massively, because he will know then that, okay, there's two guys here, or well, there's 4 or 5 of us vying for 2 positions. So he will have to up his game 100%. SVD says, I know we'll probably come 5th, but optimistically, I'd love to say we'll finish 4th or 3rd. Can't wait for next season. Me too. Me too. And look, top four has to be the priority. It has to be the aim. But Champions League is the priority, I think. And I think winning the Europa League is a very good way, and I think it should be it should be very high on our priority list this season. And I'm buzzing as well because I've got a cup season ticket for Old Trafford, so I'm guaranteed the 3 home games for the Europa League. So I'm absolutely buzzing for it. But yeah, I do think Champions League has to be. We want to attract a certain caliber of player, and it's a lot easier to attract them to the club if you have Champions League football. You know. Eamon says Rashford is the most miserable footballer. Never looks like he enjoys his football. Look, I agree with you. His body language doesn't seem overly good all the time, but I think there is a player in there. It's just we have to wait and see can it come out. Dermot says who's going to win the All Ireland? Kilkenny. Come on, the Cats. I'm trying to get some tickets for it for Sunday. So if anyone has a spare ticket for the All Ireland hurling final on Sunday, DM me either on Instagram or on TikTok, because I'll buy it off you. Anyway, let's see. Dominate Baller says Mercurials. Favour says, I reckon we will be able to compete for the EPL if we can sign Anthony Martinez and a really good CDM. Well, it would certainly put us up there in relation to top 4 anyway, SVD, and I agree with you. I do think it'll take a couple of seasons for us to put a proper title challenge together. And look, to be honest, I'm in no hurry. So I'm all for the Ten Hag long-term goal. So yeah, I'm all for that. We've hit 10,000 likes on TikTok, guys. Thanks a million. I really appreciate it. Keep smashing that like button for me. It gets people in. And anyone on YouTube, if you haven't already done so, I really appreciate it if you just took a second and hit that like button. And please subscribe as well. Anyone who hasn't subscribed on TikTok or on YouTube, the giveaway is this Friday. We're giving away a new Manchester United jersey, the brand new one. You have to be a subscriber of the YouTube channel, so click on my homepage for anyone on TikTok. There's a link there to my YouTube channel and hit subscribe, and you'll be in with a chance of winning the new United kit. I'll be announcing the winner this Friday night on our live show at 7:30. So make sure you're tuned in. Let's see. Adam says, if anyone has a spare Kilkenny ticket for Sunday, they're winning a United jersey on Friday. Good man, Adam. Anyone has an All Ireland final ticket, you could potentially win a United jersey. No, KPMG will be in my house overseeing me doing the draw, so I have to be fair. Cottle says, I think it's going to be harder to get top 4 this season. Spurs and Chelsea are doing good business. They are. I agree, Cottle, they are. It is going to be difficult. It is. The Poet is in and says, well, bud, how's things? Is it worrying Savage look better than McSauce? It's not worrying. It's very encouraging. Because I think Ten Hag is a manager who will not care about stature. He will not care about certain names. I think he's going to basically full on go for whoever's playing the best will be in the team. So I think it's a great thing. Mercurial says the new United kit is very sexy. I agree. Well, I wouldn't go as far as sexy because I've only seen a lot of men wearing it. But look, if you like men, then that's great. But I do think it's a very nice kit. When I first seen it, I wasn't a fan of it. I didn't think it was. I was looking at it and going, oh, jeez, I don't know. But seeing it on the players yesterday, I thought it was very nice. And all I was hoping for yesterday, and no one done it, all I was hoping for was the collar. Someone to have the collar up, like Cantona or Dwight York used to have it. But none of them did. Like, all one of them has to do is pop it up and have it. If they pop up that collar, if one player, let's say Sancho, for example, pops up that collar and has a halfway decent season, he's literally going to be in every playbook and every video in history of United alongside Cantona, Dwight York and whoever pops up the collar this season. You know, so I think they're missing a trick on it. Not to say that obviously, you know, a lot of these players have a lot to prove before they can get to the levels of Cantona and Dwight York, but just one of them has to pop up that collar and strut their stuff, you know. Favor says, "Are you the next Mark Goldbridge?" No, I'm just the first Jack. So, I just like talking about football. So you're more than welcome to join in. If you don't want to, that's no problem either. Um, Andy says, we won't compete for the league, but as long as we're competitive, I'll be happy. I agree, Andy. As long as we're playing good, attractive football, attacking football, that's easy on the eye, that gets us off the edge of our seat, I'm happy. And I think the rest will all just follow. If we can just find that style of play, I think we'll be all right in the long run. De Jong, yes or no, says Bram. Yes. I think we will get him. I don't think we're going to get him soon, but I think we will get him by the end of the transfer window. Yeah. Mercurial says, no, I like it on the women's team only. I caught you though. I caught you. SVD says, I think if we show a lot of passion for that badge, we're in with a chance versus Spurs, Chelsea and Arsenal. Well, I agree. I agree. And they're going to be the key games this season. They really are. You're coming up against your rivals. Now, look, obviously, Man City and Liverpool are probably our main rivals in terms of stature and in terms of history. But if you're looking at who we're going up against this year, we're going up against Spurs and Arsenal first and foremost, and to maybe a higher extent than Chelsea. I think Chelsea are going to kick on and challenge Liverpool and Man City this year. I do. But I think Spurs and the two Spurs games and the two Arsenal games are going to be our biggest games of the season this year, I think. Outside of obviously the Liverpool and Man City games, and would be great to get results in them games, but you have to be realistic as well. Obviously, we did beat Liverpool 4-0 yesterday, and as great as it was, you do have to acknowledge that it was only a friendly. Now, let's see what people are saying on TikTok here. Keep them likes coming in, guys. I really appreciate it. Keep smashing that like button. We're over 10,000 likes there now, so it's great. Marua76, Botswana is in the house from Africa. Good to see you, man. Thanks for joining us. You're more than welcome. Ad says, I don't think this team has the confidence to have collars up. Well, look, it only takes one. It's not a team. Like, Cantona had the collar up before United won the league. You know, United hadn't won the league, and Cantona strutted in the door, flicked up the collar, and then they started winning. So, come on, I'm all for it. Let's get one of them to do it. You know, hashtag collar up. So, I think I'm all for it. I'm all for it. FUTLFC says, where are you saying United will finish? Look, obviously, like we said, top four has to be the goal. But realistically, top six is, given how strong the likes of Spurs are going to be, Chelsea, Arsenal are going to be stronger than they were last season as well. I think we'll be stronger this season than Arsenal are this season, if that makes sense. I think if we can get the signings in the door that we want compared to Arsenal, I think we will be stronger. But it just remains to be seen. Top six, if we were to get top six and win the Europa League, I'd be happy. Every game is a cup final, says Tom. Absolutely. Jack says, is De Jong a United player yet? Not yet, Jack. I think it's going to drag on maybe for the remainder of the transfer window. Who knows? We could have a breakthrough tomorrow, or we mightn't have a breakthrough until the end of August. But I do think we'll eventually get him. Should we not go out and get a striker even if Ronaldo doesn't leave, says Andy. I mentioned this on a live the other night, Andy, that, and I'm sure anyone that was watching heard me say it as well. I think Nkunku could potentially be our next big striker signing. He signed a new contract at RB Leipzig only recently, but it was to put a release clause into his contract. I think it's maybe around £60 million. I have a sneaking suspicion that United are going to go all out for him next summer as a striker. Now, I could be completely wrong, but I think he's a fantastic player. I think maybe they're maybe holding out for one more year to go and get him. But look, we'll see what happens. Now, let's see what people are saying here. SVD says, Sancho would suit the collar up now. Now that you say it, he would. I think Sancho would suit. collar up, just flick it up, off you go, happy days. Um, from a neutral perspective, I think this season will be great. We probably have the top 5 managers in the world in the league now, maybe besides Ancelotti. I agree with you, Adam, and we're attracting, you know, a lot of the best players in the world. Look, you're always going to have the big players like the Mbappes and the Benzemas and stuff, all spread out throughout Europe. But I think the majority of the top players are now playing in the Premier League. Hashtag collar up, absolutely. One friendly match win, and they're thinking about top four, says Sinan. Well, we have to think about top four because that's our aim. You're thinking about winning the league if you're a Liverpool fan or a City fan because that's your aim. Now, if you're a Liverpool fan, you have less of a chance than Man City, in my opinion. But whatever your aim is, that's what you have to be talking about. News for Ronaldo, says Bayak. So Ronaldo is supposedly has offered his services to PSG and have turned him down. One, because they can't afford his wage packet, and two, it doesn't fit into their current squad and things like that, and blah 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 blah. I think Ronaldo's not going anywhere. I don't think he's going to leave. Bayern Munich have already turned him down. PSG have now turned him down. He's not going to go back to Real Madrid. He's not going to go back to Juventus. He's not going to Barcelona. I don't think United will sell him to Chelsea. So I think he's going to stay put. I really do. But look, let's see what happens. Adam says, is there any games in particular you're thinking of heading over to next season? So I'm going to the 3 Europa League games because I have the season ticket for them. And I'm going to any FA Cup or Carabao Cup home games that we get drawn in at Old Trafford. I'll have the tickets to them as well as part of my season ticket. So I'll be going to them. And I'll probably try maybe and get one league game in. Obviously, it's hard to get the Liverpools and the Man City games, but if I could get maybe a Chelsea or an Arsenal or a Spurs at home, I would certainly. But look, I'll let you know any updates as I get them. I'll certainly be making content and doing maybe some live videos, more than likely on TikTok than YouTube, when I am going to Old Trafford this season. But I can go live on YouTube from my phone either as well, so it's not a big deal. We'll split it, but we'll certainly be making content from Old Trafford this year. So make sure you're following on TikTok, subscribing on YouTube, liking, sharing, all of that good kind of stuff. Karen took the kids. What a great name for a for a username. Karen says, I was just glad to see a recognisable style of play. Twitter isn't representative of the broader fan base, as most people on Twitter have some form of brain damage. Well, I do agree with you on that one. I don't use Twitter for anything other than Manchester United updates and, the Tier 1 updates, Ducker, Fabrizio, all of them kind of ones, and the United, the established United Twitter accounts. Other than that, I stay well away from it. Cottle says, I was at the Liverpool game at home last season. Ooh, that would have been a tough one to be at. And that's always the worry. When you go and buy a ticket for the likes of Liverpool and Man City in Old Trafford, you run the risk of getting a skivering like that. If you want to see United win 4 or 5-0, then you have to go with the boring ones like, Norwich or someone like that, but no disrespect to Norwich, but yeah. So let's see. Any game from 20th of August to 31st, I will be in Dublin. I want to attend one of the games. I don't think there's any United games on in Dublin, but there more than likely will be a United game on in that period of time that you'll be able to watch from Dublin. Instead of De Jong, should we not rather give James that role? Says Andy. I presume that's James Garner. Well, look, I think I would rather get De Jong, because obviously James Garner has never played in the Premier League. Basically, he had a brilliant season last season at Nottingham Forest and showed some great potential. But that was still the Championship. So who knows? Ten Hag might send him out on loan. We just don't know. I don't think he will, but he very well might. But look, I'm open to whatever the manager does. I really am. obviously I'm going to be critical of decisions he makes that maybe don't go right throughout the season, because that's what we do as fans. We sit down, we talk about games. But I'm certainly going to give him praise where praise is due. It's going to take a hell of a lot for me over the next 2 years to say the two words that I hope I never have to say, which are Ten Hag out. Well, that's 3 words actually. Sorry. Yeah, so I'm all on board for this. I'm all on board. I love his. I mean, he doesn't look like the kind of lad you'd go for a pint with. You know what I mean? But I love that about him. There's no bullshit with him. He looks stern. He looks focused. He doesn't want to talk about anything else on the football. It's all he's interested in. Obviously, I'm sure he has a family and stuff like that he loves and has interest in. But when it comes to Manchester United, it's simply fucking my way or good luck. I didn't want to say that phrase because it's very cheesy. But yeah. Let's see, Colin says, I knew we were going to get beat, but not by that much, yeah. And Karen says, it's a cesspool. You can Google Romano Twitter and read the feed or whatever. What part of the country are you from? I just found the channel randomly. Rebel County myself. Well, you're more than welcome. I went to college in UCC for 4 years. I'm from Kilkenny myself, but you're more than welcome. Thanks for joining. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Rayan says, it's 5:30 a.m. here on the plane, and I live in Melbourne. Brilliant. Rayan, you're more than welcome. Thanks for joining us so early. It's 8:30 at night here, so great to see so many people from all over the world. You're all more than welcome, and I appreciate you joining in and subscribing. Adam says, the thing Ten Hag to do is, even results aren't working. His exciting style of football will keep you on his side longer than Van Gaal or Mourinho. Absolutely, Adam, I agree. And Mike says, I was pleased to see that both of our 11s played with the same system and intensity. Mike, I agree with you 100% there, because obviously we were thinking, Liverpool were bringing on the heavy hitters with half an hour to go, and United basically had a youth team out. But they did. They played the same formation. They played the same style. It wasn't with the same intensity, obviously, because they're a bit younger and naive than the first team that were out. But it was brilliant to see. Rafa says, would you change an in-form Martial with Ronaldo? Well, I would be. Let's put it this: I probably wouldn't swap one for the other. But if Ronaldo left, I would certainly be happy with an in-form Martial. I hope that answers your question, Rafa. So yeah, absolutely, I'd be happy with that. I knew there was a bit of Cork in you. Well, there's no Cork in this accent. What are you talking about? That was probably a terrible Cork accent anyway, and I'm sure Karen will fucking tell me off there, but no, I can't do a Cork accent. Ryan says, I think there's going to be a press conference 4 a.m. UK time. Ronaldo question is going to be asked. Yeah, and look, and I could see Ten Hag in the interview yesterday. He was asked, I think, maybe 3 or 4 questions about Ronaldo, and then he was asked another one about him, and he basically gave the reporter a look and said, I've answered these questions basically, and just moved on, which was great to see. And I'd like to see that, the manager being in control of the press conference more so than the other way around. Ryan says, Strakosha, De Jong, Anthony, Martinez, Malacia, Ericsson, Dumfries, Sangre, and maybe Dybala, Tellez out, Wan-Bissaka out, Jones out. Rate that window out of 10 for United, regardless of possible, not possible. Strakosha and Dumfries and Sangari would be difficult, wouldn't they? If we could get all of them in, it would be a fantastic transfer window. It really would, and I'd be all for it. But I don't know whether we will or not. It remains to be seen. There's still 6 weeks left to go in the transfer window, so a lot can happen. Come on, people, hit that like button, says Mike. That's it, Mike. If anyone hasn't already done so, please smash the like button for us. It really helps us out a ton. And Karen says, UCC fancy. I was CIT myself. Ten Hag is the first serious operator we've had since Fergie. His first reaction to the game was to point out the negatives rather than the positives. Absolutely. Absolutely. And everyone was positive about it. And it's always the way with fans and media and things like that. Oh, what a great result. Jesus, brilliant. Ten Hag comes out. I've seen a lot of mistakes that we need to work on, which is brilliant. So yeah, I agree with you, Karen. There, I can't wait to get out to Cork again and get myself a KC's. I haven't had one in about 7 years since I was in college. Party Pooper says, I'd rather the youth get a chance than going after the likes of De Jong, who'll be overpaid. Well, look, that's certainly an option there. I would love to see youth getting a chance alongside De Jong. That would be fantastic. I think that would be the ideal scenario. Strakosha is talks. He's a free agent. He is, absolutely. It's close, even though no one is talking about it yet. He's the backup goalkeeper, I think. Well, Cotton says he's going to Brentford. Okay, so interesting there. But yeah, look, guys, I'm going to finish up with. Geez, we've been on an hour and 5 minutes already. It's been great to have a great conversation. Sorry if I didn't get to any of your comments. If you do want to leave any comments, anyone on TikTok or on YouTube, head over to the YouTube video and just leave the comment down below. I'm happy to get back to any questions you have, or we'll have a chat in the comment section underneath the video. Anyone, again, finally, just to let you know, anyone on TikTok or on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button, because we're giving away the free Manchester United kit on Friday at 7:30 on our live shows. Anyone who's new, we do a transfer talk show live from on Monday, Wednesday and Fridays from 7:30. So make sure you're hitting subscribe. And we are doing our watch along on Friday morning at 11:05 is the kickoff time. So we'll be on from about 10:45. We'll be doing a watch along for the United game in Melbourne. So make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel for that. But look, it's been a great stream, guys. I've really enjoyed it. And thanks everyone for putting in the great comments. Thanks for all the likes, all the shares, all the subscribers. I really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see you Friday morning for the watch along, hopefully. Thanks, guys.